Hey, this is Cannon from Trucking Empires, where we take regular owner-operators and regular people working ordinary jobs and turn them into small fleet owners and small carriers. And we do that using business management and consulting and dispatching. Today, we are talking about how to have success as a new owner-operator. And this is whether you've been trucking for 10 years, working as a company driver, or whether you are a new person coming into the industry, okay? And just going right into being an owner-operator or a carrier. There are a few things that can make the transition smoother for you and for your wallet. Okay, so getting your MC and insurance, even if you have been driving for 10 years, for a company, you will still have to pay a lot of money for insurance, and brokers will still not want to work with you. That's something that all new authorities have to deal with. But a way around that is to actually buy someone else's MC. However, you must buy their company, not just the MC. You can transfer an MC, but that resets the clock on how long that MC has been active. Okay, if you transfer, you have to buy the actual company. That doesn't reset the clock. So brokers will pull up your MC, see that it's been less than 90 days, and they will not want to work with you. If you buy the person's company and it comes with an MC number, then you can work with that broker. Okay. Now with that disclaimer here, their MVR, their violations, their inspections, everything that went underneath that authority is going to follow you. Okay, so that's something to think about. Now, you can also just get your own authority. There's that option too. And there's people out there you can even pay and they'll do all the paperwork for you, but you can do it yourself as well. Now, at some point, if you don't already have a truck picked out, you're going to have to get a truck. Now, a thought here is that you can buy a $220,000 truck, you can buy a $20,000 truck, and they are both going to pull a load for you. The difference might be that the $20,000 truck might not pull another load after that, okay? Now, that's something to just think about, and it's something that we ought to make a choice on. If you're looking at being a solo operator, then a Peterbilt or a Kenworth might better suit you. But if you're looking to start a fleet, if you're looking to start your own little trucking empire, you might want to consider something more like a Freightliner. Okay, that's what the big massive fleets use. Don't forget that fuel is one of your biggest expenses, and that Freightliner has better gas mileage than most of the other trucks. Okay, now, and so that's something to think about. Your Volvos might be up there, but then your maintenance that you might have to pay is more expensive on Volvos, and you have to find someone who will actually work on a Volvo truck, which is sometimes few and far between. So just some thoughts there. Your massive carriers are using Freightliners and things like that, saving on gas, saving on maintenance, things like that. That's what 70% of trucks out there are Freightliners. Okay, so that's just a big thought out there to consider whenever you're looking at these new trucks. To look at Freightliner, see what they have, see what they offer, and just go with them. Okay. Now, another consideration is your payment. If you're going to build your fleet, you want the smallest payment possible. So a longer loan, but also you want to make sure that the truck will last that long, that it makes sense. Okay, especially if you're buying used. You also want to make sure that you have already gotten some quotes from commercial banks for a truck loan, and then that way you are going in there to the finance department with some ammo to make them compete for your business. You don't want to get stuck going in there and just taking whatever they give you and getting shafted with 18 to 20% interest where you could have got 12. Okay, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be that guy. And ultimately, when you're looking for a truck, you're looking for the best payment, the best gas mileage, and the best maintenance outlook as possible. You also want to make sure that when you buy the truck, you don't use all of your money. Don't use all of your cash for the down payment, okay? You'll want a maintenance reserve set aside and cash to travel on for a couple of weeks, probably. Next, it takes brokers 21 or more days, usually more, to pay you. and you can't run out of money on a business. You can't run a business waiting a month to get paid. So we need to partner with a factoring company who will buy our invoice to the broker, and then they will pay us the same day or the next day. Okay, and those companies are all over the place, and the best ones come with other perks as well, like fuel cards, which save you money when you buy fuel, 30, 50, 60 cents a gallon. And so you want to be looking for those. You have OTR Solutions, you have TFS. There's a lot of factoring companies out there you can look at. Okay, so we're set up on the numbers side, and how we get paid and things like that. Now we need to get a load. All right, here's where you may run into some problems if you got your own MC. It needs to be seasoned. Very few brokers are going to work with you if it's less than 90 days old. Okay, now if you bought an MC, you don't have that problem. All right, you don't have to wait 3 months or 6 months. Even some brokers don't want to work with you and been in business for a year. All right, so you don't have to wait to get the good paying load to get the good paying loads. All right, another service that can be beneficial is a dispatcher. They typically take a percentage of your gross, and they will find you loads. They may know brokers who work with new MCs if you got a brand new one, and they might have a list of brokers that they've worked with for a long time. So a dispatcher can be handy in that area. They can also help you in filling out paperwork like broker packets, processing rate cons, proof of delivery invoices, and even more stuff. Some dispatchers only dispatch, and that's it. But the best ones will offer other services like paperwork, back office support, things like that, fuel cards even. We at Trucking Empires, we do all of that. We offer dispatching, all the back office paperwork, invoices, rate cons, proof of delivery. We'll hook you up with a fuel card. We'll get you factoring if you need to do it. We'll do all the factoring paperwork, because every load that you do has to be verified with your factoring company before you pick it up. That way you know that the factoring company is going to cover that load and buy that invoice. So that's something else that we as a dispatcher will do. Our fee is 3.99% of your gross. If you don't work that week, we don't take anything. Okay, so that's what we offer here at Trucking Empires. We also help people with business consulting on their trucking empire, their trucking business, to get more trucks. We also help people coming into the industry who've never done it before, set them up and work on growing their, what we call a shadow trucking empire. Okay, it's where they're working a day job and they're using their 401k money, or they're using whatever money they have set aside to run their trucking business. One last vital piece of information to know when it comes to starting out as a new owner-operator or a new trucking fleet is you have to know your cost per mile. Okay, it's a very important piece of information. Essentially, it's where you take your expenses for the week, for the month, and you divide it by your amount of miles you drove. So if you spent $2,000 on insurance that month, well, you went 10,000 miles that month, you're spending 20 cents a mile on insurance. You do this with all your fixed expenses, you do this with all your variable expenses, you add them all together, and that brings you to your cost per mile. This is so you know what freight rate you can take and still be profitable. Make sure that you bake your pay into your cost per mile. Otherwise, you'll be running at a low cost per mile and will take freight for a lot cheaper, and you're not making any money because you're only covering your expenses and you're not getting paid. Okay? So that's something that we also help owner-operators with. If you need to get in contact with us, you can message me personally at Canyon, CANYON, at truckingempires.com, or find our other resources on truckingempires.com. Check you all in the next video.